Please, please stand while Teresa leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we'll do the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right, welcome. You can sit down unless you're a visiting Rotarian or guest. So I'm Teresa Szurek, and I'm on the guest, and I'm chair of the Guest Introductions Committee. When you speak, please speak into the mic clearly. Try to look into this camera here so your face will project like I'm not doing. Okay, so do as I say, not as I do. And so everybody can see. And we'll start right here with Andy Meyer.
Hello, everyone. Today, my guest is Rolf Evenson. Rolf and I met in Longmont. He is one of the co-founders of Startup Longmont and runs a company called Clear-Mind Advisors.
Welcome. Here's Mike Simpson.
My guest again today is my wife, the Reverend Carol Simpson, who's the nurture team leader at Pine Street Church.
Right. I'll come back to you. And here's Paul Jurdy with the guest.
How do you do? I would like to introduce my guest, Martin Ogle. They only met recently, and I was so taken by his background and things he was doing that I immediately invited him here to Rotary, and I'm hoping the PPE committee members surround him. Very quickly, Martin grew up in South Korea. He got his environmental science degrees at CSU and Virginia Tech. Worked for 27 years at Arlington, Virginia. He and his family moved here in 2012. He started an education consulting business, Entrepreneurial Earth, and is working with Lafayette Open Space and also working on an initiative called All Careers Initiative to demonstrate that it's possible to move forward in environmental concepts in all careers and to empower students, especially high school, to take that approach as they enter and go through their education. So I ask you to introduce yourself to Martin and welcome him to Rotary.
All right, here we have Alexandra Dro.
We welcome today for the third time my neighbor Roger Foreman, and not only is his paperwork already started to become a member, but he's very eager once accepted to join the journaling committee.
Please help me welcome my guest, Lynn Johnson. This is Lynn's third meeting also, and he was a water systems engineer, professor at UC Denver for a number of years, 88 or 84 to 2012. I'll later figure that out. Anyway, and now he has a half-time appointment with the Earth Science Research Lab at NOAA. So please help me welcome Lynn.
Here's Marty.
Pleased to welcome back or have joined me again Linda Gregory with BSW Wealth Partners. Seriously considering joining Boulder Rotary, and her other life other than financial is involved with a travel company, and she's going to the Antarctic for a couple of weeks, so she gets to decide if she'll join before or after she goes to the frozen down under.
Right. TK Smith.
My turn. It's my good pleasure to introduce Judy Seaborn, a longtime friend and the CEO of Botanical Interests. Please welcome Judy.
Hi, are you a visiting Rotarian?
Yes.
Okay, welcome. Say hi.
Yeah, hello. Would you mind that I introduce myself? So I made myself to guest. I'm a German Rotarian, and I'm here for the third time. My name is Ute Wilkins. I have, meanwhile, a great time because I stay at CU Boulder as a visiting professor, and I stay until the beginning of January.
Welcome. And Darla has a guest.
Thank you, Teresa. Yes, it's my pleasure to reintroduce Pete Parkinson for the last time. Pete will be our newest member by 5 p.m. tonight, so we're pretty excited about that. Pete, as you know, is the National Director for Permitting for Ecoplexus, which is a large-scale solar company. So welcome, Pete, and we look forward to seeing more of you.
So did you know that this is the 100th birthday of Boulder Rotary? Well, we're going to talk about that in a moment after Yancey has the floor.
Thank you. I'm honored today to introduce Boulder Rotary's outstanding high school students of the month, both from Fairview High School, Olivia and Aiden, and I'm going to let them say a couple of words.
So I'm a junior at Fairview High School. I play basketball and football, and I am in a club, Teens for Nurturing Minds, and we raise money for girls in Africa to go to school by just raising money for their scholarships. So.
Hi, my name is Olivia Davis. I am a junior as well at Fairview High School, and my interests are in medicine as well as business. And I'm excited to be here. My hobbies include soccer on my free time when I have it.
So on each of your tables, there is something called the 100 Ways to Serve, Celebrate, and Communicate Boulder's 100-year anniversary. And so what we're doing, the committee, we're encouraging each of you in your own way to choose one way to celebrate. And for example, one of the examples today is volunteer to run the video camera. And you could talk to Fred Hull, who is chair of that committee, and he would help get you trained for this very important job. Another way that you could contribute is to hold a Rotary sing-along. And I think this is a fabulous idea, and I'm not going to break out in song right now, but we have on occasion brought up some of our Rotary songs, and so anybody who wants to do that, let me know. Welcome to Boulder Rotary.
All right, thank you. Is this on? All right, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Is this on? Is it good? Okay, there we go. Hey, welcome, everyone, to the Boulder Rotary Club, the best place to be on a Friday afternoon. So I usually wait until the end of the meeting to do all my gratitude, but I have to just tell you that I want to thank everyone for finding your spot and coming in here, going through the parking lot like that. Big thank you to John Sullivan and to Cassidy and to Janet Beardsley for directing everybody. They just showed up for a meeting, and I'm like, hey, why don't you go out there and help people out? And Jim Umlin was over at the Boulder JCC to help direct you over here as well. So big thank you to them for helping our meeting start off smoothly. So a couple of announcements. The first one is Lindsay Sachs. She had her baby last Saturday. We have a picture right up here. Chris, her husband Chris, and she had Sienna Lauren Sachs, born last Saturday at 10:05 p.m., 6 pounds, 12 ounces, 20 1/4 inches, and she's doing great. So big congratulations. That's going to be our newest member, I'm sure of it. And last week we had the flag contest. There were 3 flags that you could choose from for our little flags that we give when we go abroad. And the big winner is, boom. There we go. That's our new flag. For when you go, if you go and visit another club, please ask Wendy and she will give you one, and you can be a nice flag exchange. So have you ever joined an organization as the leader and you're like, man, I'm going to shake things up. I'm going to have so much power. I'm going to make things happen. And then you get in there and you find out there really is no power. Well, that's sort of like what it's like being the Boulder Rotary president. But then I read the RI Constitution and the bylaws, and there is nothing in there that precludes me from making completely arbitrary and random theme days, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. November 16th is hereby declared by my executive order Bow Tie Day. And it's going to be not just Bow Tie Day, it's going to be George Garmany Bow Tie Day. All right? Now, the way this came about is there is a charity a Zimbabwean charity selling bow ties that will sell some bow ties in the next couple of weeks. We thought it'd be a nice way to help out this charity and have some fun at the same time. Now, ladies, they also have the hair ties. So the women, they can wear the bow ties. Okay, that's fine. You can wear the hair ties. Guys, you can wear the hair ties too if you want. No problems, nothing wrong with that. If you have a hair tie, if you have some hair. So before we get on to this week's vignette, we have the winning raffle ticket right here in my hand. So you pull out, the number is right here in my hand. You pull out the winning ticket, okay? Got it? Ready? The winning number, oh, by the way, the $80 goes to the winner this week. It is 827-4290. 4290. I can't see who's got it. Go see Dan. Oh, no, that's okay. Dan can't write the check. We'll get you paid out, though. We'll get you paid. Oh, no, go see Brad. He'll get you paid out. And this week's vignettes. For our guests, this is our 100th year. Every week, we're telling our history between now and the end of April, one chapter, one vignette at a time. Come on up, Sue.
Thank you, Mike. I want to just do a little small world mention because I sat down by accident next to Mike McHale, and it turned out he just came here from my hometown, Arlington Heights, Illinois. And it's like, what? How does that happen? So you meet people from all over. Today, we're going to talk about some of our programs that share Rotary all over the world with young and older people. And there are so many names and so many places that we've had people come and go from that I couldn't possibly list them all. So this is going to seem very meager when I read it, but it's just a tribute. Boulder Rotary has hosted and sent abroad a long list of young people and some older ones through Rotary International programs such as Youth Exchange, Ambassadorial Scholars, and Group Study Exchange. Our first youth exchange student, Patricia Hyman of Remagen, Germany, and forgive me if I mispronounce some of these place names, came to us in 1975 when Jack Rummel made arrangements for her to come to Boulder High School. And we have a picture of Jack with some students, I hope. No? We don't? Okay. Well, never mind then. Jack was very active in this program for years, and I had sent a picture of him with some students named Claire Thorogood from Zimbabwe and Suzanne Marti from Switzerland, who came in the 80s. For the last 20 years or so, Nancy Stalker was the queen of the Youth Exchange, and she and her husband Scott have been honored many times for their enthusiasm and their participation in the program. Peter Ewing, John Kotke, and many others have also been involved. Nancy reports that in recent years we've averaged 2 inbound students a year and 3 to 4 outbound students a year. A friend of mine who I met when I was working at the Daily Camera, Ryan Van Duzer, was a student and is now sort of a local celebrity. He's on a lot of travel TV shows. He went to Sweden some years ago as an outbound student from Boulder High. When he came back, he brought a banner from his Swedish host Rotary Club, and he told the club, "When I get really, really old, I'd like to be a Rotarian." So I think it's time to check back with Ryan. I think he's getting up there in years now. Rotary also adopted a Russian student who did not have a scholarship or grant, but desperately wanted to study at CU. She had met a CU professor while he was in Russia, and she had served as his interpreter. And he came back and sought out Rotary as a possible vehicle to help her. So the club in 1991 pledged to help Lena, and 150 Rotarians each donated $2 a week for 2 years to pay for the $23,000 cost of her tuition and books. They arranged for her to receive a free room and board at a sorority house on campus, and her proud parents came to Boulder for her graduation. So that's just one more example of how Rotary helps people. Thank you.
Okay, we've got some red to blue badge transitions. So why don't we come on up, Jim and Bill and Sarah. And while they're coming up, something you said, Sue, reminded me. Someone was telling me that one of our young guests once came to a Rotary meeting and said, I thought Rotary was for really, really, really old men and their fathers. So that's not true. Look around. There's lots of women here, and there's younger people. And all right. Oh, you guys can come right over here. I'm going to grab this for you. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, Darla has introduced both of the members next to me to our club. And so today is their 6-month-ish celebration and transition to Blue Badge. So first up, we have Bill Perneau. Bill comes from a career in manufacturing, retiring as president and CEO of a Milwaukee, Wisconsin firm with a mission of employing people who are blind. And currently, Bill was chairman of a consulting firm. He joined Rotary Club of Milwaukee to expand his network and his opportunities for service. He was active in literacy outreach and tutored adults. He's a Paul Harris Fellow and a member of our Club 1919. Bill and his wife of 37 years, Mary, have a married daughter and 2 grandsons in Arvada, as well as a married son and granddaughter in Wisconsin. But we're glad you're all here in Boulder, those of you who are. Thanks, Bill. Welcome. You ready? You got it? All right. And Sarah Amirani is joined us after with a 30-year career in marketing, PR. I'm a manufacturing guy. I just try to remind people that is still a word in our American vocabulary. So 30 plus years in marketing, PR, and communications has led Sarah from the retail industry in Minneapolis to the entertainment industry in Los Angeles, and now to education in Boulder County. She's currently Director of Marketing Communications at the Dawson School in Lafayette, the region's leading K-12 independent school. As someone who's been active in community service and civic engagement throughout her life, Sarah's honored to be joining Boulder Rotary in its 100th year, a club clearly thriving through its wonderful combination of impressive service and warm community connections. Since joining Rotary, Sarah has joined the Welcome Committee and the Program Committee, arranging last week's speaker, Ann Elliott, the women's lacrosse coach at CU. She's looking forward to using her professional experience and expertise to lend a hand with marketing and public relations to support the club's goals. Something we can always use more of, right? Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Bill. Welcome to both of you. Thanks, Darla.
Yeah. Hey, Darla.
There you go.
I got gold stars for you.
All right.
No, she's a rock star. Look at that.
Look at that.
We all want to be Darla. All right. And with today's program, Carl Kurtz. All right. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you very much. Okay, we have some birthdays. And I know that I see a birthday girl here. There's probably maybe you too, Fred. George?
Yes, we have 3 birthday people here today. And so I want to just go on and introduce them. First, I'd like to introduce Fred McLaren. Happy birthday. He's a month or so late, but
I'm a couple of months late, but it's nice to be here at the Boulder Rotary fracking site to celebrate my birthday. It was quite a startling the last couple of years, you haven't seen much of me. It's been interesting. As you know, I was a deep sea submersible pilot up till just 2 years ago. Dives to Titanic, a German battleship Bismarck, and the Mid-Atlantic Ridge hydrothermal vents. And then, unfortunately, age caught up with me. I'm 86 now, and 2 hip operations, and then falling off a curb in La Jolla, California last September with a severe concussion has sort of now relegated me to being a writer and doing other things. And on the con side, borrowing your phrase, the key expedition I missed with the Barry Clifford just a year ago, I was a principal on it, and they discovered one of Columbus's ship from his last voyage. So I missed out on that. On the plus side, I have one grandson that graduated here from CU last May, got commissioned second lieutenant in the Marine Corps. Will be entering flight training in January. I have another one coming up, get commissioned next year in the Marine Corps, and a third grandson be commissioned in the Marine Corps a couple of years later. So plus and minus. And I have to end with telling you I got the question to end all questions this last week. A neighbor called my wife, who was doing, the neighbor was doing estate planning, and she said, "Have you all arrived at a crematorium yet?" Well, you know, does anybody have a favorite crematorium?
Dorothy Rupert, happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much, and that's really not quite fair to have to get to follow you. But first of all, I'm delighted, actually got all stirred up in listening to all the stuff on the legislature. Just to give you a tiny hint on how things have changed, my first run for the state legislature from Boulder was in 1986. And I raised a total of, I think, $20,000. And I gave half of it away to other campaigns. And so my whole campaign was around 10,000 then. My guess is it's a little different now. But it really brought back lots of memories. And I have to tell you, it was the greatest privilege of my life to be able to represent this fantastic area of our country and our state and our city and county. So I thank you for those years, and I thank NCSL. I used them extensively. They're really, really, really great people. You feel good about your taxes that go for them. I wanted to quote a couple of my favorite women. One is Willa Cather. I grew up in Nebraska, and Willa Cather is an author who lived in Red Cloud. And if ever you just happen to be driving through Nebraska and you see Red Cloud, Nebraska, it's worth a trip to go see where she lived and to see why some of her quotes are really powerful to me. When you go to her home, you can look down the farm land and you can see roads just going forever, up and down over hills and vales. And one of her quotes is, she says, "The end is nothing. The road is all." That's Willa Cather. And she lived in Nebraska and then moved, as you probably remember from reading some of her books, she moved to New Mexico. My other one is from Mother Jones. And Mother Jones, if you don't know who she is, beside a magazine you might see in the rats, she was a mining, she was like this little woman born in 1830 and lived to be about 100. And she was out trying to organize the union workers, organize workers in the mining fields to be union workers. And so if you're down, how many of you have been to southern Colorado to Ludlow? A few of you. How much I recommend that you do that. I did it a couple weeks ago, and it's just really powerful. And her quote is, "Pray for the dead, but work like hell for the living."
Wayne, it's your birthday too. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I'll take a pass until next week because I'll be going with my youngest grandkids to see First Man tomorrow at the IMAX, and I'll give you a critique.
Be sure and sit at the birthday table when your birthday comes. Thank you.
Thank you, and happy birthday. And yes, sit at the table and donate to the birthday fund and help support our scholarships, as does the raffle, as does our Roaring Rotary 1919. Okay, we had a video for it.
Oh man, this is really living.
We're committed to the art and nothing stop us, not even a train, plane, tractor, all of us as we feel the rhythm inside the marrow of our bones. And we fascinated by the music sounds and headphones.
Our signature fundraising event, tickets next Wednesday. That's the last. We have 121 already, committed, but there is still some space. $139, and it's going to be great. So please see Nancy Chin Wagner or Anne Marie Reeder, or you can come see me. So it'll be a night you'll be very pleased that you go to if you buy those tickets. Let's see. We have a couple of announcements. Next week's program, by the way, Daryl and Sally are not here this week, so I am the video. So let's see here. Next week's program is a panel moderated by Hans Wick. It'll be called Alternative Sentencing, the Community Perspective. And some of the members will be Joe Pelly, Deb Gardner, and Michael Doherty, our DA. Let's see. That's it for announcements. Oh, no. The laptops. Laptops, if you have old laptops, you donated them last week over the JCC, you can donate them next week as well. That'll be the last and final and for those laptops. And if they brought them today, Jim, can they give them to you? Yeah, great. Wonderful. Phew, put you on the spot, didn't I? Okay, so I want to thank Michael Weatherwax for being our past president greeter, Carrie McElvain for being our red badge greeter. Helping out with member and guest registration was Eve Kilmer, Sue Lunsberry, and Gloria Thrall. On the raffle was Dan Shear. And I just want to thank everyone here for coming and spending your Friday afternoon with us. Have a wonderful weekend.